What up everyone, it's the Total Wars Master here doing another guide video, this time on guard infantry units. So first I'm going to start this off by going over the nations that don't have any guard infantry units. That being Austria, the Ottoman Empire, Portugal, and the United Netherlands. They don't have any guard infantry, no elites. They will not be in this battle. Well, not in this discussion. So first I'm going to Spain. Their Walloon guards have awful stats. They're atrocious. They're fairly similar to British line infantry. And overall, the only thing they're good for is what all guard units are primarily to be used for, and that's to inspire your surrounding men. Overall, they are not a very good elite. I would not recommend using them any more than you have to. Next, I'm going to Sweden and Denmark, which actually share the same exact stats. They have 50 accuracy, 75 reload, which is a mediocre stat. They're all right. They're not going to do anything amazing. Next, I go to Prussia. Prussia's foot guards aren't bad. 55 accuracy, 80 reload. They're pretty respectable. They're useful, and they're fairly cost effective. The 8th Life, however, which is another elite regiment from Prussia, is not very good. They have 2 less morale, 10 less reload, and overall I would not recommend using them. They're not a very good elite unit. Next I'm going to Russia. Russia has pretty good elites. The Lifeguard foot has 55 accuracy, 80 reload, just like the Prussian Lifeguards, except they have better morale and I'd argue better melee stats. The Simonovsky Lifeguard has slightly worse stats in terms of shooting, but they get 2 more morale compared to the Lifeguard, and they have better melee stats. So you're really trading that shooting for melee, which gives them a niche unit to fill. They're really good in like Waterloo for holding houses. Next is Great Britain. Great Britain's Coldstream Guards are absolutely amazing. They're great. You should always use them if you are going to have elite units as Great Britain. They cost 10 more than Foot Guard, and they have better stats. Foot Guards, they're just a little bit worse than the Coldstream Guards. They're really good elites overall. I'd recommend using them. What I don't recommend using is the 42nd Foot, the Black Watch. They are awful in terms of their stats. They have accuracy that's the same as regular British line. They do have better reload, but if you compare it to like Connaught Rangers, they have slightly worse reload and slightly better accuracy while being cheaper. Overall, I would not use the Black Watch ever as Great Britain. And finally is France. France's Young Guard is not very good. It's the same stats as the Walloon Guards and is similar to British line. It's just not worth it overall. They are expensive and you aren't getting much better stats as you'd expect from a regular elite infantry unit. The Guard Seamen are roughly on par with Sweden and Denmark's mediocre elite units. They're not a bad elite to have as France. They can be used well, but they're not a gleaming best example. Dutch Grenadiers are a Grenadier unit which automatically makes them struggle. They have 90 men instead of 120 if you're playing on large settings, which makes them not the best. They have fairly good reload and accuracy, but that reduced manpower just makes them not very usable. Finally is the Imperial Old Guard. They have the best stats of any elite infantry unit in the game. They scare and lower the morale of enemy units, and they're very useful and the best elite in the game. I'd recommend using them as France. That's what France needs to use to often win. But that's going to be it for this elite infantry units overview. Comment down below if you have anything you want added, anything you differ opinions on. I'd love to talk to you guys there. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Total Wars Master.